Greetings, it's Eric Bakker, the Naturopath from New Zealand. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to dive into something that I've seen for decades and decades of clinical practice, and I'm still seeing the same today. People often think that certain types of foods they eat can be quite harmless, but if they keep eating them unintentionally, it could be well sabotaging their gut health and completely hindering their recovery from conditions like Candida overgrowth, SIBO, and irritable bowel syndrome. While Candida can live on any type of food, as studies have found out the past few years, it thrives obviously on sugar and refined carbohydrates. The simple and refined carbohydrates are not just a treat for Candida, they're actually building blocks to help it create and fortify biofilms which it can hide inside. And it's not just junk foods or sugary foods either, it's also unhealthy additives, and it's also inflammatory fats that you're going to find a lot in the ultra processed foods or the takeaway foods. And these can really mess up your gut and cause low-grade inflammation, extend into leaky gut syndrome, which is going to create a lot of problems for your entire immune system in your body. If you're trying to cleanse Candida or work on SIBO or irritable bowel syndrome, and you want to support the gut, these offenders just have to go. You've just got to get rid of these foods if you really want to get that gut microbiome in really good shape. Let's look at a list of the foods now to avoid. So obviously the top of the tree, we're looking at things like refined sugar, but we're also looking at so-called healthy sugars, whether it's agave syrup or yacon or it's honey, it's all sugar. So if you've got a gut that's in not so good condition or you've got bloating or gas, this is the top tier you've got to avoid first. Now what about refined wheat products and gluten? Don't blame gluten, blame the poor products associated with gluten. Now here's where I break from the trend. I don't believe gluten's a problem. I think it's the crappy foods that people have with the ultra refined white flours that's the problem. Because these are loaded with sugars and chemicals and additives and bad fats, just cheap fats. We're looking at cookies, we're looking at muffins, cakes, donuts, all this crappy kind of food. It's the poor foods built around ultra refined white flour that are the problem, and these have to go. So, but if your gut is in a problematic state right now, if you've got irritable bowel syndrome or you've got a gut issue, it's good to avoid wheat and all types of grains for a while. You can introduce whole wheat products slowly back into the diet again when the gut's improved. Now what about fruit? Well, the high sugar fruits you want to avoid, definitely for a long time while your gut is in a predicament. High sugar fruits you'll need to avoid for some time until your digestive system settles right down, and that includes fruits like mangoes, maybe bananas for some people. We're looking at grapes, dates, these sorts of foods. Watermelon, any food that's very high in sugar could definitely be problematic for you. I'd recommend you stick with the low sugar fruits like the sour apples, like berries, like kiwi fruit. The next category, meats from the delicatessen. So deli meats, anything from the delicatessen, so ultra processed meats are not a very good idea. In fact, some studies show that they're linked with cancer. We're looking at bacon and salami and ham, this kind of stuff, this processed. The other protein to avoid probably would be the larger predatory fish like shark and tuna. These can contain different types of heavy metals in them. So you're better off sticking with smaller, younger species of wild-caught fish for that reason. Next category is dairy foods, especially in excess. Many people can't tolerate cow's milk. Cow's milk's the most allergy-forming of all the foods that I know of in the clinic. Many people can tolerate small amounts of plain Greek yogurt, however, right throughout the Candida cleanse. We're talking plain sour Greek yogurt. Small amounts of kefir can suit some people and can highly aggravate other people. A lot of these foods is trial and error. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to avoid them, it just means you need to be cautious with them. What about nuts and seeds? Well, most of these are okay in small amounts. I've rarely seen nut allergies in people. Brazil nuts, almonds, walnuts, and also sunflower seeds and sesame seeds, they're good. Stay away from peanuts. They're not a nut anyway, they're a legume. They grow underground. They can be moldy. Sugary sauces and condiments. Many people love these, like mustard and ketchup. These often are laden with sugar and different chemical additives as well. So you're better off to avoid sauces and condiments in general when you're on the Candida diet. Now what about vegetable oils? Just be careful where you buy your oils from and the type of oils you eat, but you can't go wrong with extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. These are good choices. I also like sesame oil, I find a good one. And I love sunflower oil, but it again has to be non-GMO and organic and cold pressed. I prefer to stay away from mixed oils or blended vegetable oils. I'm not a big fan of soybean oil. What about alcohol and sugary drinks? Well, they don't really have any place in a Candida cleanse. When you're going through a cleanse, you're best to avoid beer, wine, spirits, energy drinks, soda drinks, fruit juices. These all contain lots of sugars in them and different chemicals, colors, flavorings. You're better off just avoiding this kind of stuff. If you want to drink something, I would just stick with plain lemon water, and maybe a bit of sparkling water with lemon juice in it is quite nice. But now what about caffeine? Can you drink coffee or tea? Yes, you can, but again, keep the portion size small. Tea is fine as well, but again, make sure you don't put sugar with this, and be careful with adding milk, again, because this could be problematic. 1 cup of coffee per day is not a problem for most people. I know this can all seem overwhelming at first, but believe me, it gets a lot easier. Once you start cleaning out your pantry, cleaning out your refrigerator, shopping, making smart, healthy choices for what you eat, it gets a lot easier and you'll be a lot more motivated to keep on going. I'm launching a gut health cooking series this spring and summer coming up for New Zealand. We grow most of our own food all spring and summer long, and I've been developing Candida and SIBO gut safe recipes for decades. You'll find these recipes and so much more on candida.com very soon. In the next video, if you click up here, I'm going to be talking about the maybe foods. So these are the foods that may be good for some people and may not be good for other people undergoing a Candida cleanse or a SIBO cleanse. So be sure to check out this video. I've helped thousands get their gut health back on track, and I want to do the same for you. So thanks for tuning in. Before you go, like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to visit candida.com for all the resources, the recipes, and my full Candida cleanse program. Thanks for tuning in.